Square roots and cube roots. This is section 2-9. I'm going to do this in two parts. We're just going to do the square roots today, and then the next time we'll do the cube roots. Okay? So square roots definition is one of two equal factors of a number. Okay? And perfect squares are numbers that have square roots that are integers. So examples. Let's see if we got a good color. Alright, so numbers that have square roots that are integers. So like 1. Because if I took the square root of 1, I'd get 1. 4 is another. The square root of 4 gets me 2. Square root of 9 gets me 3. So all of these numbers are called perfect squares because when you take the square root of them, you get a whole number. Okay? So like 16, 25, 36, 49. All of those are perfect squares, which then lead us into our list of square roots. Okay, so the square root of 1 is 1. Now, it can also be negative 1, because 1 times 1 is 1, but also negative 1 times negative 1 is 1. So technically, we're going to say the square root of 1 could be 1 or it could be negative 1. So this is the way we're going to mark that. Square root of 4 is plus or minus 2. Now, I would write this list down. You're going to use it as a reference. Okay, so find a piece of paper, write this down. Square root of 9 is plus or minus 3. Square root of 16 is plus or minus 4. Okay. Square root of 25 is plus or minus 5. Square root of 36 is plus or minus 6. Square root of 49 is plus or minus 7. Excuse me. Square root of 64 is plus or minus 8. Square root of 81 plus or minus 9. Square root of 100 is plus or minus 10. Square root of 121 is plus or minus 11. Square root of 144 is plus or minus 12. Okay. Square root of 169 is plus or minus 13. Square root of 196 is plus or minus 14. Awesome. Okay. And let's go square root of 225 is plus or minus 15. That should take us through most of our problems. Okay? If need be, you could always figure it out too. Okay? Because you could just take, well, what number times itself is going to get me close. Okay? And then you can just figure it out from there. So plus or minus 15. Okay? Alright. Estimate the value of non-perfect squares. Okay, so now if it's not a nice number, like any of these, for example, the square root of 50. Okay, use your list. So if I go back here, the square root of 50 would be between the square root of 49 and the square root of 64. Okay, so this is between the square root of 49 and the square root of 64. Well, the square root of 49 is 7. The square root of 64 is 8. So if I were to use a calculator and put the square root of 50 in the calculator, it would be between 7 and 8, and it would be way closer to 7, right? Okay, whereas something like the square root of, let's go with 60, would also be between the square root of 49 and the square root of 64. So it'd be between 7 and 8. But because 60 is closer to 64, this decimal answer would be closer to 8. Okay? Let's try another number. So you got like the square root of 92. Okay? So that's going to be between the square root of 100 and the square root of 81. So it's going to be between 9 and 10. And let's see, this is 8 away and this is 11 away. So it's going to be closer to 10. All right? Square root of 5. Okay, is going to be between the square root of 9 and the square root of 4. Ugh. So it's going to be between 2 and 3. This is 1 away, this is 4 away. So it's going to be closer to 2. All right, 2 more. Square root of, let's say 200. Okay, if you look at your list, that's going to be between the square root of 225 and the square root of 196. So it's going to be between 14 and 15. And I'm only 4 away from this one. Okay, so it's going to be closer to 14. Okay, let's do one more. Let's go the square root of 27. Okay. So if you look at your perfect square list, that's going to be between the square root of 25 and the square root of 36. So your decimal would be between 5 and 6, and it's going to be closer to 5 because this is only 2 away. Okay. All right, decimals and fractions. All right, so something like the square root of, let's say, 4/25. Okay, you can think of that as splitting it. So it's like it's the square root of 4 over the square root of 25. Well, the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 25 is 5. So that means the square root of 4/25 would be plus or minus 2/5. Okay? Square root of 36/49 then would be plus or minus 6/7. Okay, pretty simple as long as you've either got your list memorized or you have it as a reference at this point. Okay? Decimals. Okay, look for the perfect square in there. 25 is a perfect square. You know that's 5. Okay? Then look at your decimal places. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So our answer is going to be half of that for our place value. So it's going to be 0.05. Let me do another one like that. So if we had 0.0000036. Okay, square root of 36 is 6, so you know that's in your answer. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 place values. So that means our answer is going to have 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 place values in our answer. So 0.00, I need a plus or minus in there. Plus or minus 0.0006. Okay? Let me just do one more of those. Okay, so the square root of 225 is 15. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in our answer, or in our question, I should say, so then our answer is going to have 3. Now, it doesn't have to be a decimal necessarily. I mean, decimal can also be our big number. So if we had like, 4,900, okay, square root of 49 is 7. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, so there should be 2 in our answer. So it can also work with our whole numbers as well. Okay, and I believe, yep, that's it for part 1.